Good evening, Sonalji.
Even a stone has a life. Everything has got life. Okay. But there are different stages, different levels of life. You cannot murder human beings. That everybody knows. But the next step you have to understand, you can't murder any animals. Okay. Plants are the natural food for all the animals. And minerals are the natural food for all the plants. The plants take minerals. The animals take plants. And we are also an animal taking plant. We are herbivorous animals. We are not carnivorous animals. We don't have the canine teeth. We don't have the biological structure to eat meat. That's why we should never eat meat. Because we are not biologically designed for that. Some animals are biologically designed to eat meat. This human body is not biologically designed to eat meat. We are biologically designed only to eat plant food. Whatever is biology, we have to agree with it. Go with it.
Good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome to day 7 of 11. We are already more than halfway through this wonderful journey. Congratulations to each one of you for your commitment and making it this far. Today's session will be led by Sonal ma'am. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am. We are excited to learn from you today. Over to you, Sonal ma'am.
Thank you, dear friends and masters. Good morning and a wonderful evening here in the West. As Bhavya ma'am said, we are already almost at the other side of the program. 11 days goes so fast. So I think today and tomorrow we have in house a little bit more about, it's all about the mind, right? So mental wellness and, all around the globe, it is one of the major expected, even the predictors that we are seeing it, very common as we talked about it, that it's all about the mind. And they're anticipating that it's going to be so much of increase in these illnesses, everything that is triggered by, not having the healthy mind. Mind is our best instrument and sometimes our heaviest patient, that makes us also the heaviest patient. So as I learned, that on an average, every human being have about 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day. And unfortunately, I would say 80% of them are, or maybe now I think the research shows 90%. It used to be 80, but now it's 90% are just repetitive, which means, it's only from the past. We are repeating stuff over and over, unknowingly or knowingly, and then or of the worry of the future. So we're really not thinking, we're replaying. And without realizing that we are replaying all those traumas, and unfortunately, it's always the negative memory that we think about. When it comes to positive feelings, as we're talking in heart elevation, such as gratitude, love, your best moment, we have to make an effort to think about it. It doesn't come naturally, but anything negative, we'll remember what happened 20 years ago. This is what they did. This is how they cheated me. This is what I didn't get. Every heated argument, every differences, unfortunately, we remember all. And I think it's the whole world around. And that's why that all energy is rubbing on us, right? So, as the yogic text calls it, that there are three poisons. So, in our medical language, if we have to translate, I was thinking through. So, the poison one is living in the past, which is depression. If only I had done this, or if only I married someone else, or if only I joined that company, or I made that decision at 2 a.m., only if I knew to join this place, or I wish I reviewed my chart. Okay, you didn't do it. Now what? Right? Poison number two, living in the future, which is anxiety. What if? what if this happens? What if the crash, the census crashes, and what will happen to my 401k, and what will happen to my job, and all these things that we keep raving about in our mind. Things that nobody knows, right? And the poison number 3, which is living in judgment, exhaustion. The moment you're judging, your mind is exhausted. And we do this, as a natural way of living now. And it should not be happening, arguing, trying to prove our point, because we all have our own perception, right? We all have our own mind. So these are the most, arguing with reality truly is the most tiring procedure, I call it, So what is the antidote? Should we stop thinking? Just like how Michael Jackson had needed propofol to sleep, to stop thinking, right? What do we do? So you cannot stop the mind by the mind, right? Mind is already thinking, overthinking, analytical mind is anxious, is depressed, it's worried, we're judging, we have our own perception. So the antidote is the witness consciousness, that we call it Sakshi Bhav. Understanding, when we talk about self-awareness, really what we're saying is we are so consumed by everything in this matter world that we don't realize that we're just that, we are that. And once we realize that witness consciousness that we are, and we surrender and we kind of separate ourselves, but we're so into the chaos that we don't even have time to even put our head up from the life that we are living, especially even our, future generations. When I look at them, they're always on their phone, and I don't blame them, because our life is also like that. Without my phone, I don't know what I'm doing next, right? We need for everything. So it's not, we can't change that, but how do we still not get into these poisons? And then once, as a provider, I think we have more responsibility. It's non-negotiable that we have to inspire everyone around us and train our future generation, our future doctors, all the providers, nurses, all the people that's working. That's our goal. So if you close your eyes right now, I want all of you to close your eyes just for a second, because we've seen a lot of presentation. We've heard these over and over. We hear in the wisdom notes. We have so many reels, so many motivational, things that we watch. But at the end of the day, how much do we remember? So that is why we'll do like a small exercise. Just close your eyes, okay? Imagine that you are sitting on a riverbank. We're just by the riverbank. All of us have been to Rishikesh. If not, we all went as a Buddha CEO team, sitting by the bank. We're watching the river flow. So keep your eyes closed and imagine that the thoughts are the river, right? So you're just sitting at the bank, and all the waves that's going in your river, those are your thoughts. You're not in the river, you're just sitting at the bank, watching, oh, all these waves, right? That's a future thought. That's the past thought. All these waves are going, and just there's a judgment, there's a thought. When you name it, you tame it. I talked about it yesterday too. As soon as you name it, what am I thinking? I don't know what she's doing today. I still have to have my dinner. It's too early in the morning. I haven't had my tea. Whatever that is. Is it in the future or if of the past? Whatever are you judging? Whatever it may be, just name it. The moment you name it, you tame it, And when you witness it, you're free from it, because slowly and steadily with daily practices, taming your mind, talking over and over, we will realize that that is what we want to do in our mind also. And that's what meditation does naturally. So that is why if you cannot remember anything, if you just blindly sit for meditation 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening, you'll see so many things will happen magically. So with that, I'm going to put up the presentation, but I want all of you to think about it, that how do you think is your mental wellness? Where are you in that spectrum? How healthy is your mental health? If are you sitting on watching reels and all of that more, then look at your screen time at the end of the day. That'll tell you how well is your mental health. So we've all seen this again and again, because it's mastering the mind, understanding. And we all know this, the reason is from learning to doing to being. Since we're in healthcare, most of us know how it all functions. So I will not, and TK sir and myself have already talked about the different parts of our brain, what it's doing, what is in charge. And we all know this. We do our thorough assessments for our stroke patients, or even for nerves, how each nerve is controlling everything, right? The frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, occipital lobe, and cerebellum, right? You're like the patients we have with Parkinson's, it's not that they're not feeling anything. They're just not able to give you, with the flat affect, they don't have the nerves that work to show this expression. But that is why when we say be grateful, we should be so grateful that we have, all these senses that work so beautifully. Our coordination, we do exercise and our yoga, so it's all about the healthy mind and body and spirit, right? So most of the time we focus on food and exercise, which is great. But at the same time, now the quantum science tells us that we're only 1% or less than 1%, 0.001% matter, and 99% we are energy. So if we are 99.999% energy, what should we be doing more? Everything that we're doing, exercise, yes, we're doing yoga. Yes, it's a body temple, but that is still 0.001%. So all our life, we just rave about focusing on good food and exercise. But if that much focus we gave to the mental health, all of these other things would just fall in place. Overeating, over shopping, because our hormonal system, everything is controlled by how we are thinking and how we are feeling. So that is why it is so important to put this knowledge to everybody knows this, and everybody's doing their best as a mother, as a husband, as a wife, as a provider. We are all doing our best. But how do we are doing something that's it's great, but it's only 0.001%. So that is why it is important for us to inculcate that change and reprogram our subconscious to say, you know what, it's okay if I cannot eat today better. I'm going to sit for meditation, and all these things that we are trying to do, have less calories, do intermittent fasting, have these, pills for everything else. All of that will automatically go away or drop because your mental health, your hormonal system, everything is in coherence and it's doing a super best job. And that's when you see these people who are breatharian, people who, do sun gazing. We have so many examples of how these Himalayan yogis live. They don't have any superpowers. We have the same powers as them. Um, this also we've seen, it's amazing, they've seen, I just, one of my patients just told me 2 days ago, there's this rock climber, I don't remember his name, but there was a YouTube video on him that he goes rock climbing without any safety guards. So he has no fear. And, they did a research study on his brain that how different they knew already before even scanning that his amygdala is not going to be like what a normal person because he had no fear. So they made a whole documentary on it. And my patient just shared that with me. So I thought that is so true that, all these fears that we have, the judgments, all of that will drop once we are more aware of our mental health. And this also, TK sir, already, I'm not going to take much time on it because we know what really happens. Because we have a very, very good presentation. I'm trying to get to this also. We've talked about that when you're sitting on daily meditation, the reason it is because our brain is got a muscle. And when you do it for 2 or 3 days and fall off the wagon, like we go to the gym, then you're again starting back, from day one. So that is why it is important to do it regularly, no matter what. No matter what, you do that. Also, as we know about the water experiment, right? So our body is 70% water, our brain is 80% water. So every emotions, every affirmation that we give, that we consume, it becomes us. And that is the power of positivity. That is the power of changing the way we think. Because as we think, as we speak, as we do, right? So that is why we have to remind each other, because we've formed this habit. Nobody wants to do it, but we don't know anything different. We've already have this ego personality. So when we're talking to each other, we either say, okay, I think we already know about it. Let's, so help each other in our circle, in our friends, in our family to only think positive. And it's okay if you are still changing your habits to say, it's okay, I shouldn't have thought about it. It's okay, and I do that all the time. I realize that, we do judge people from the lens of the past experiences that I told you so many times you're never going to change. If you think and say that, that's what will happen. So that is why they say, right, we do that as a mother, as a father, we motivate our children. But when it comes to us, we don't do that. So that is what we need to. This is what it shows that, when you are sitting, how different. I think you did go in detail about, how everything that we do is from our subconscious mind, and we are sitting with positive thoughts, with intentions, with, wanting to see what we want to change. So that's when you reprogram your subconscious mind, your belief system, things that rub on you, right? Because we are already at that age where, we've formed this personality. So as we know about neuroplasticity, right, that every time when we're doing meditation, we talked about this, about, no, if you don't use it, you lose it. Same thing is that way. Once your brain stops to learn, we're not going to be able to, then we fall into this neuro-rigidity, which means, this doesn't sound right. I don't feel comfortable. That is scary because we form this, it's like inbox thinking. We're only going to do this limited stuff. And when you are learning new things, there's so much in life to learn, to do, to read. It could be something that you always wanted to do, like painting or dancing or doing yoga. There's no bars to anything. Now, money is also not an issue. We have everything free available on YouTube's, and the technology, if you use it in a right way, how beautiful is it? I remember my nephew started learning how to play drums during COVID time. He said, I, work from home. I have nothing else to do. I said, oh, that's so awesome. So there's so much that we can do, but we don't even have those thoughts or intentions. And that's also part of our mental wellness, which leads to our physical wellness and which leads to our spiritual health also. So as we know, all neuroplasticity, what does that do? So it supports new learning greatly through openness, which means you're open to try different things that, yes, why not? By doing this program, by becoming a coach, we learning the technology, we learning how little bit of things are done. Kiran-san is trying very hard to make us all tech host also, but we're kind of resisting still. We're still in that neuro-rigidity part of it. So that is what, we try something new. And that is what, when you're sitting for meditation, you're making that new neural network connections that we talked about yesterday. So you fall automatically into the neuroplasticity where you're going to say, yeah, maybe this is new, but let me try this. We have 4 more minutes. So this is kind of summarizes everything if you look at it, my friends. So what does our brain do? So it stores the power. It's storing the memory. And then when you need it, it's accessing it, right? I know where I kept that. I remember this, for students, that's how they, because it's not just storing, it's also to be having the power to access it when you need it, right? It also helps you to concentrate your focus better. So when you're not able to read, I go to sleep when I read 1 or 2 pages of this books. It'll help you to concentrate more, focus more. And I say this from my own experience. I never was fond of reading, these big books or anything. Once I started meditating, when I, started, I was like, wow, now I can read it. It helped me. I still use Audible. I kept books everywhere, even if it's 2 pages, and slowly, you start sitting with yourself and reading and enjoying. It could be anything new that you want to learn. Your learning power tremendously expands. You're not fearful to try anything new. Look at all the people that, and do we have a choice in this world that the speed that we are evolving, we're going to have to learn everything, all these apps and how to use these AI. So why not, instead of making it a struggle, by just sitting for meditation and kind of realizing that, removing this old belief system that, oh, now I'm retired, I can only do so much, or I have this plans. Yes, it's great to go around to, do everything that you thought you wanted to do it, but at the same time, not because you're retired. It is because you want to live to the fullest at every minute. There should be nothing different how you felt at 20. You can feel the same way when you're 80. And I see that in my mother. She lives alone in Mumbai. She's always ready to dance, ready to go. She even traveled alone. Yes, does she struggle? Of course. But so I kind of, I'm sure we all have that kind of motivation around us. Your creativity definitely increases. You become, instead of the problem orientation, you become the solution oriented, that, okay, this happened. Okay, let me see what I can do best. And we've experienced this, that the moment we joined with this, unknowingly, also a lot of subtle things happen. You become a great team player. Your thought power definitely, once you become positive, your mind calms down, instead of just focusing on the mud, we are clearing the mud, and then now we're able to focus more on the beautiful lotus that we are, you know. Uh, so that's what it shows, that what really happens when stores, like, because our mind is analytical, it helps us to understand the structure and what it does at a cellular level so that we can convince our own inner self that how this all helps when you're sitting with it. Yes, our thoughts is amazing, but are we making it amazing? Are we always, that's why practicing mindfulness, being in the present moment, is so crucial, so important, because you don't know what's happening in the future. And whatever has happened, no matter what you do, is not going to change. So that's why they say presence, right? What is presence is actually a gift to be in this present moment. So we kind of already talked about this, my friends, that, you're going to do everything so much more magical by just being mentally healthy. Automatically your mood improves. You're not depressed. You're more joyful. When we were little children, what did we have? We were so happy just playing with our friends and being out there. Why? Because we had not burdened our mind. And in today's world, in the technology world, we are bombarding with all these information overload. So our mind needs more help than even normal people. So it is our duty now to really spread this knowledge. First, be, as they say, right? Um, then do, and then say, right? So I wouldn't say this if I'm not doing it sincerely. So, truly grateful that I'm able to now follow this and then have the opportunity to convince others too. Because, even our own children, they know meditation is good. But when we are trying to make them understand, you realize the difference, where everybody sits. Um, and then we'll talk about physical benefits tomorrow, dear friends. We all know this, but it's basically, as I said, it truly contributes great to mental health. And just in this last 4 years, somebody who was depressed, somebody who was sad, somebody who was living into pain body with continuous meditation, long retreats, longer meditation, changing small things, how I think, how I do, I totally rebounded back to my happy self. That suddenly I feel everywhere this burst of happiness and bliss and love and able to connect better too. And I'm really, really happy, make friends. I traveled, I'm complaining less, judging less. So I say this from not just by presenting, but from my own experience also. Everything you start taking positive because you realize the universe is always watching after you, just like a parent will do to a mother, and that universe, when we call it the quantum field, it could be your Krishna, it could be your Buddha, it could be your Baba, whoever you believe into. But basically, just as a parent, the energy field is always doing something for our best. And once we have that faith, we can surrender and just watch those thoughts by sitting at the bank, and realizing that we are not the river, we are just the witness. And when we start taking life such, automatically all the positive things will start. And then you start vibrating at that frequency. And that's when you start attracting those circumstances, those synchronicities, those people in your life. So much for that, dear friends. With that, I think we'll take a comfortable position and we'll kind of talk a lot more about physical health and longevity and everything that we all want, right? Better health, better wealth, better relationship. And why not? That's what we are here for. And that's what we've come here to experience. And our thoughts and our feelings will create that. And that's when, once we have all of these things together, then we get into the science of manifestation that TK sir will be talking about. But it's important to get these building blocks, all the ducks in a row before we can actually talk about manifestation and, connect more in the energy field. So with that, friends, let's sit for meditation, close your eyes, remove your glasses, relax your body, be grateful. We'll be doing heart elevation. And so thankful for this group energy, this moment together. As you close your eyes, scan your body from head to toe.
Dear friends, dear masters, with your specs removed, eyes closed, keep your hands in your chest area. And resting your attention on your sacred heart. And can you feel your beautiful heart? Feel the center of all emotions, nurturing all life. With its higher vibration of love, compassion, kindness, gratitude. Can you recollect an experience from your past? Or simply imagine to be living an experience of higher emotions of love, deep joy, gratitude. Relive that moment and feel that energy. The more you experience this higher emotions and energy of love, compassion, the more coherent you become. With all things and everyone. we are all deeply interconnected. Deep inside, we are specks of energy connected to each other. Use self to direct this energy, to spread this energy to everyone and everything on this planet, to help them elevate themselves. Where your attention goes, there your energy flows. Feel. And slowly, let's go into breath mindfulness meditation. With your fingers into fingers, hands comfortably rested in your lap. Observe your normal, natural in-breath and the out-breath. We are going into powerful group meditation, dear friends. Observe your natural in-breath and the out-breath. when you observe your breath. Your mind becomes empty. The mind is becoming empty. We experience greater emptiness. That calmness inside of you, all around you. It is natural to have thought. When you recognize your thinking, go back to observing your breath and allow yourself to go into the deeper states of calmness, emptiness. As the mind is becoming empty, all that liberated energy is channelized into the present moment. your body begins to function at its natural best. You develop greater power of thought. Into your breath and allow yourself to experience that emptiness, calmness inside of you, all around you. Become aware of that calmness, stillness within you as you merge into your breath. Emptiness is energy. This is the quantum field of limitless dimensions, the field of infinite possibilities. The more you are with it, the more you tune in to the abundance of healing energy. Empowerment energy. That energy of love, that energy of the mystic, or whatever you can become aware of. Into this emptiness of no body, of no thing. less matter, more emptiness and energy. As the mind is rested, you move away from this matter, your body. You experience that emptiness, energy, the feel of all connection, the field of all wisdom. The more you are in this calmness, emptiness, the more insightful you become, the more connected you become. Merge into the emptiness of yourself, your divine self. Receive your greater mind, that awareness. the more you are with it, the more you experience your intuitive intelligence. The more you develop that acceptance, and the more effortless life becomes. Friend, it's truly a privilege to be experiencing this life, to be exploring consciousness for a greater life at this time of history. Many are not so blessed. Can you express gratitude to everything and to everyone? Be grateful to this intelligent universe. To your parents, to your teachers, to your mentors. Deep gratitude to yourself, to your body. Give thanks to this nature, the mineral kingdom, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom. Gratitude to all the people in your life, to everyone. To everything, the technology, the system, the company, the governments. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. recollect your experiences from the session. And whenever you're ready, you can keep your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds. And then open your eyes.
Welcome back, friends. Hope all of you really enjoyed the meditation. Lovely to see Mr. and Mrs. Batra together there. Lovely. Nice to see you all. Anybody have any questions? Anything I can answer? Anything you want to share
So,
for
madam,
mental health?
that's 50 minutes of meditation today.
Awesome. I thought so, but it was wonderful. Thank you for taking that call. Awesome. So we all meditated much longer than usually what we had planned, and I think it's because of the audience that when you have that full interest, the energy called for it. So all of us together did that. Thank you. And as we grow up, this visualization power, we have that innate. That's when we were younger, we were thinking, when we were painting that, we want to become a doctor, I want to become this. So everything started with those thoughts, right? And then what's happened when we kind of finish, that's not the end of the world. That's where we're reminding ourselves that we are the co-creators. We have this amazing power of making our thoughts into reality. And that's when we talk more about visualization, because we kind of somehow stop visualizing and thinking and creative. Once you keep doing that, things will just evolve. So it's all telling ourselves that as we think, as we feel, so we manifest. That should be our mantra. That am I thinking positive today? Am I feeling happy today? And if not, why? What's the worry? What's the matter? So how simple is that, right? But we've made our life so complicated. Oh, we haven't taken this vitamins and we haven't done this and we have to still clean this. So once all of those rumination, when we do everything mindfully, when I went to a monastery, they said the monks practice mindfulness every minute. So when they're cleaning the dishes, they say that you believe that, we are bathing a baby Buddha. So they're full time in there. They're never running. They're so disciplined, so in moment. And that happened to my life too, slowly and steadily. When I come from work, I'm running around, oh, I have to have my dinner, then I have to go down, do this. Not anymore. I sit and enjoy because I know, okay, it's still 20 minutes. It's the same 20 or 30 minutes that I have. But earlier, like, oh my gosh, I haven't, programmed. I have to, Kiran sir will be doing, I'm also doing YouTube integration. But now I'm not getting anxious. I have 30 minutes, I can do everything. And then you realize that you're using your time best because you're truly present in that body, mind, and spirit. When we are running around, oh, I have to go there, I have to do this, I have to do that. And then we don't realize we're so much into those stress. And all of that will change once you start meditating and believing that, yes. And, we have to keep correcting. Like, I'll give you an example. We all know this, but when you talk about practical experiences, that's when you realize. So when we did a regional conference here in St. Louis, we're talking about, each person is targeting different people. So me being a Gujarati, I was, going to bring all the business people and the Gujarati folks. So when Chandra sir came 4 days before, we are sitting and talking. And of course, there was two weddings that was happening during that summer. So most of our elite Gujarati families had gone to Chicago because the wedding was in Chicago. So in other words, I did not have any much funding or any kind of, resources coming from them. So I was just sharing, right? We all are kind of, targeting like who could we bring, how everybody can kind of enjoy. And then I said, so he said, don't worry about it. It's okay. They're not there. What he's trying to say is where you put your attention, that's where the energy flows. So our energy should be who's coming and what are we doing and what's happening, not about who's not coming or they didn't call me back or they didn't. And we don't know that. We unknowingly keep doing that. So that's when, Sajjan Sangatya, as we say, also helps because now that we have all these tools, but then how do we reprogram our personality? How do we change the way we think and we feel? Because everything at the end of the day is as we think, as we feel. It's just a small mantras. That's why we say, how are you? How are you feeling? And I really mean that when I ask you that, we want to be saying that, how am I feeling today? That's so important because as we think, as we feel, so we manifest. So much for that. Thank you, friends. And anything I can answer, or even, we have all the other masters here too. If anybody want to share anything, please,
Thank you so much.
TK, go ahead.
Thank you so much for your wisdom. We really enjoyed the session, learning so much, so many nice tips from you. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Again, thank you, Sonalji. I would like to add my recent experience going for a senior community center in Edwardsville. And it's amazing that many of them were 65 plus. And when I talked about the benefits, the art and science of happiness, when I talked about a lot of neuroscience to support how it's going to help us for mental powers, like you talked about, more of ability to learn things, and also how the memory can be a big factor, that enhances significantly, and how sleep is another variable. And they were all completely in awe because they said they have been on medication for sleep. Memory lapses was a big issue. And when I talked about the simple technique of breath mindfulness meditation, not only they enjoyed it collectively after 30 minutes, and also they were completely surprised that there's so much of neuroscience evidence to support. It can help them in memory, learning, which is a concern, as we know. We all have memory lapses, some early stages of dementia. So it brings another dimension, not only for healthcare providers to share this with the community, and that was really amazing. So that's one part I want to share with you. And the second thing is, you talk about meditation. From the time I started my meditation journey, maybe 4 years ago, and now, what I noticed myself is you're most of the time in flow. And we know that is a term, jargon used significantly. The flow simply means, from the neuroscience perspective, you're able to be focused on what you're doing with less of a distraction around, which is the key. And when you reach that flow state, which is a brain state, you're all able to do deep work. It means the work which is meaningful. So flow and deep work are very much neuroscience based. And I see that benefit with mindfulness meditation. And I'm sure if you embark on this journey, you're going to be transformed. And there's a lot of research to show the brain waves changes to a brain trait. It becomes your neural signature for you, not only during meditation, even you're walking and you're doing your regular activity, you're in a different state of being. So it carries forward. But the key is repetition, as you said, neuroplasticity. It has to happen and it becomes ingrained in the neuronal circuit. I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
No, thank you, Tikeswar. And you'll see that your body will become more subtle. You know how when we are young, our body muscles are so supple, right? Right, it's fresh,
Yeah.
full of everything. And then just as we build toxins, everything becomes rigid. So
Wonderful.
think of it as, our when we say that elasticity, even your body will become like that, by just doing the meditation, because automatically everything else will fall in place. Everything will work more in coherence at a cellular level. So all those blockages, when you read You Are the Placebo, this gentleman built his whole spine. I mean, he needed a Harrington rod surgery. And just with meditation, right here, walking and talking in California, if he can do that, being from West, understanding our, everything that our scriptures have already told us. So what is it that we are lacking? You know, so that is what I thought is so wonderful that, and we can do that. The more we do, the more we be in that flow state where everything is just flowing and everything is just so beautiful and perfect. So it's all about coming out of that rigidity, that personality, and we keep what's great. If you've been disciplined, great. If you haven't been disciplined, it's okay. Accept, and then you start today. you know so thank you, Bhavya. Anything you have for us tomorrow?
I want to share one of my experience, and
Oh,
I'll
sure.
conclude with this thing. Actually, I started my meditation journey when I was 21. But what happens with me is like when we were having surroundings of friends, like all the teenagers or early adolescents. At that time, all my friends were like, "It's not needed now. What is the need for your meditation? You not become any old, or what is this all doing and all." So because of them, I stopped doing meditation. Like it's okay, I'll enjoy now. What is the need now? Uh, like that, I stopped for some months. Then I again go back into my old state. But what is the biggest blessing for me is like, 1 minute.
I remember Bhavya, when she was studying, she was going through this anxiety and all of it. Go ahead, Bhavya.
Uh-huh. So I've fallen back into my old self. What actually nobody notices is like we were having so many things inside of us, even when except until 7 years of old, because those were the youngest people child were. So they were prepared by the mindset by the parents at that time. So maybe we'll carry those all things later, but it's not like 21 years or someone don't have any problems. Problems means it's nothing but biggest financial crisis or something. I was having like little bit of anxiety. If some exam will be coming, I was having so much panic. If someone will shout on me, I can't take that. I actually having, I think I was having so much anger issues because if someone shout, I can't take it. I was so stubborn in some things. These all things, but so many things were there inside of me. But the biggest blessing for me is like my brother-in-law who was into meditation from past 12 years and one of the trustees from Buddha Silvo. He was always constantly in support for me. It's not like everyone will have that backbone. Like because of that, whenever I fall into my old self, when he calls to me, he will just ask like which book you are reading, how many minutes you are doing meditation, what you are doing. He questions me everything. In starting, I used to get irritated, like what is this or what book you are reading. I was not able to read my books only. Why I'll go and read some other books. This was the mindset I was having 2 years ago. Later, I used to do Vani ma'am and Chandra sir were like constant supporters for me. Vani ma'am, I stayed in their home for 11 days, and their sisters' home. Everyone I know them. Maybe it was a blessing for me to stay that much close with them and all. And they also used to say like, "How are you?" Vani ma'am takes care of me so well. Like my mother, like she is exactly like mother, like my mother. Sometimes she will call me like, "Where are you? What you are doing? Go safe." Everything she will say for me. Later what happens is like I slowly kept away the friends who were talking negative about the meditation because I tried to say for them what actually it impacted on me, but they were not able to accept and they were keeping quarrel with me. So I stopped discussing with them. When their time comes, they only will come and start doing meditation and all. Then now in I'm sorry, in April there is a GCML session in Delhi. I always say no for everything. Maximum things I used to say no only because I will not do that. I will not do this. I don't have time. These were the common things I used to speak.
Mhm.
So, but my brother-in-law is like, I don't know what you will be doing. You have to come to GCML. I just packed two pairs of clothes and I went to GCML. Then it actually impacted me so much, so much. Like I can say like GCML before, GCML after. Last year I attended to AMR, but at that time I was having some exams, so like FMGE, so I was not able to concentrate much on that. So this year again, when I went to GCML, it completely changed my mindset. Um, Before someone was crying in a meditation session of something, I was laughing at them. I'm sorry, but I actually was laughing like, who will cry like this? But actually, I cried a lot by releasing so many emotions in me, and I came to realize how many things I was having inside of blockages and all. So I released some of them and I started working on them. After this April, one day also I not stopped doing meditation, and if I have time or not having time, I don't care. But there is like half an hour every day. I will read some book. Uh, I will share this to my parents. Like they were not able to read English, so I will translate them some things. And like this, I was able to say for everyone what actually happens. Now the biggest group of friends I was having was like from Buddha CEO team. When I want support, I ask Saruna ma'am. Like one time I was having some fear and all, I ask Aruna ma'am, or everyone like this. I had constant support from the team. Like I actually feel that was so much blessing for me. Thank you.
And you're going to be a blessing to all your patients now, you know? So it's wonderful. We're so happy. I've seen her journey, you know, when she was a student and now she's promoting herself. So it's so wonderful because it's all in our mind, right? Once we stabilize our mind and do daily practice, you know, life could be so beautiful. It's just the
Yeah.
way we think and we feel. Swapna ma'am, you wanted to say something real quick before we end? I know we kind of
Yes.
enjoying the
I
talks in the satsang, but
yes.
friends, always feel free to drop when the meditation is over because this is only a 1 hour program. These are just, you know, we're just hanging out with each other and talking. So feel free to stay, but if you have to drop, we completely understand.
I just wanted to say that was such a lovely session, Sonalji. The teaching session and the meditation session is just so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Kiran sir,
Okay.
I really love your glasses. I've been
I
wanting
know.
to say that for the last few days now. And it's so lovely to see Dr. Batra and Dr.
Yeah.
Batra couple doing the meditation together. That's so
Yes. Yeah.
lovely. And thank you, Bhagyaman, for sharing your beautiful experience.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say one point when Sonalji said living in the present moment. Quickly about like in my practice too. I've been like I with meditation. I used to get like very stressed out, like when I had a lot of patients waiting and a lot of tasks and all that, like you know. So, but now when I get that stressed out in my practice, like I consciously remember to be in the moment. Like, you know, I just say, okay, I'm going to be in this moment and just be in this moment. And that like kind of takes away all my stress. And I just, I mean, fully in the moment and just enjoying the time with that patient. That's all. So that's like really helped me get my stress levels down. So thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. And
Yeah.
always remind yourself whenever you're in any stressful situation, take a couple of breaths, always go back to your breath. You know, and that itself will automatically bring you to the present moment, you know. So that has helped me personally too. So thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Um, a announcement, a gentle reminder for everyone. Every Saturday we have our Saturday master class from 5:30 to 6:45 p.m. Indian Standard Time. We encourage you all to join whenever possible and make the most of these insightful sessions. Looking forward to see you all.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
Good
Good
night.
night. Have a
morning.
great day in India and
Bye.
wonderful evening here, friends. Good night.
Good
Good.
night.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Yes. Mhm.
Yes. Thank you. In India, everybody's ready to go.
Yeah. Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
You are fun, you're my mom, you are water, you're the stars, you're my daughter, you're my friend.